Hey, welcome to my Bali Balcony Production Studios. Hello and welcome. And welcome to my talks of yoga and total body cleanse through detox and discussion on why do you need to cleanse the body on regular basis and how yoga as a scientific practice is an important part of it. Usual life is going on around me, sounds and weather. It's a bit windy and the cars are going, but I hope nothing will distract us. Today I will talk about misconception that I was guilty of myself too. So this misconception is even if you eat healthy food, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you are healthy, you know. It is derived out of the false belief saying, look, oh, I eat healthy food, so therefore I'm healthy. But this is such an important point. There are so many factors in your healing journey, food being just one part of it, an important one, nevertheless. But as I said in my last broadcast yesterday, and thank you for your feedback, you can't take the healing of the body as a separate part. Everything is connected. And if you just change the food, it would certainly help, but it won't result in the outcome you desired in relation to your healing. Even this one I didn't realize myself straight away. But I learned about that important point through my research on my journey to heal my psoriasis. Once I learned that I have disease, I had to change many things in my life, like from the core. First, my lifestyle, which involved some hard decisions to make to remove as much toxicity as I could possibly out of my life from my immediate environment. That would include all aspects like emotional, mental, starting eating better and healthier food, learning about toxicity in certain types of food, and also get my rest and awake patterns, when I sleep, when I go to bed, into better order. And all that was very well, but still I was hardly managing my skin problem. So little fast forward into my study of it all, I realized that I actually could eat as much and as healthy as I wished, but if my digestive system doesn't work properly, then all the organic food in the world would not get me better, get me healing. I realized I need to pay attention to state of my gut, my microbiome, and especially the colon. You can eat, as I said, as well as healthy as you'd like, but if your body is not able to absorb all those nutritions from the food, it's like you haven't eaten them at all. Would you believe that you can actually be malnourished despite of eating healthy? If you suffer from malabsorption, you are not absorbing food, nutritions well at all. And for that, you can blame a few elements in your gut by primarily parasites in your gut. Parasites leach minerals from your body, from the food you eat, and you end up mineral deficient, for example. So in actual fact, when you eat, you're just feeding parasites that are taking up your minerals, your vitamins, and all nutrition that you intake with consuming your food. And one mind-blowing thing that I learned, you can have parasites from some 20 years ago, and even longer in some cases. There are some case studies. Yeah, but let's back to basics. Like, how do you get infected with parasites at all? Well, parasites are all around us. You can't avoid them. If you're a human being living modern life, like traveling, eating takeaways, dodgy food, frequently tasting exotic food from different countries. If you have if you have ever been food poisoned, or if you eat uncooked food, like raw food people diet, when they eat raw food, drinking infected water, you definitely have parasites. Like for example, pinworms. The name for the parasite is the most common type of human intestinal worm. They are tiny, half inch long, white, narrow, and most common in children between age 5 and 10. Kids get them. Even you might remember having something like that when you were a child. But there are so many. You'll find them throughout the body, any place you can imagine in your body, even in your blood. They are everywhere, taking different forms, different types of parasites characteristics, like depends what they like leach to, and depend on the size, big ones or that are one in your gut, and the tiny ones that circulating around your blood, and also anything in between. But the parasites I'm talking about here, though, are parasites embedded in your internal organs. If they are not treated, they will cause havoc on your health. You'll get ill. They are part of us, but when they turn into these big numbers and start overflowing, that's where trouble starts. And then to find out how healthy you actually are and what causes your health problems, we need to find out about parasites in your body first. Especially, especially because parasites, these parasitic infections are on a rise. And as I said previously, we all have them one way or the other. When I was researching about my particular head issue, I came across notion that I might have parasites in. And my first reaction was like, no way, I don't have parasites. I'm a clean person. But unfortunately, it doesn't matter how often you take your shower, how often you clean yourself, they are inside of you. And that's a bit, which is exact same reaction when I get from almost everyone I talk to, and suggest that maybe if you have some health troubles, a good thing to do is to check for parasites in the body. But no one, everyone kind of cringe on it. And because it's as just seems alien, that idea that we have living creatures in a form of parasites in our body. They are living creatures until you actually learn about it, see for yourself, and realize that we all have them in some shape or form. Crazy stuff. Some intestinal parasites are tapeworm. They can be as long as 80 feet, around 24 meters, and live in human body for up to 30 years. Would you believe that? It's just crazy, Something that is 80 feet long in you. Ooh. Did you know there are actually 300 parasites that have ability to live in humans? For example, parasitic worm, as is in 1 billion people. Once inside your body, parasite eggs lodge in your intestines. They hatch, they grow, and they'll multiply. How do you know you have parasites? Here's the most common symptoms, but bear in mind those symptoms are not exclusive to parasites. They are just an indicator that it could be a good idea to check for that parasite infection. So symptoms could be unexpected weight loss or moving pain around your body. As I was talking, it feels like rheumatoid arthritis. It's just pain in the shoulder, then pain in your hip, then pain every day, something different. Also fatigue, strong cravings for sugary and salty food, common ones. Itchiness of the skin, foggy mind, memory loss, inability to remember things that you should remember. Unexplained constipation like diarrhea, gas, bloating, nausea, and other symptoms of IBS like this irritated bowel syndrome. And especially if you're on antidepressants medication or anti-anxiety medication, or you take antibiotics often, definitely do parasite cleanse on regular intervals. You have to. Also, as I already mentioned, you are most likely to pick parasites if you travel internationally, like changing food and intaking ingredients from different countries. If you had a food poisoning and after that your digestion hasn't been same ever since, like you still had like troubles. Some parasites enter the body by way of contaminated food or water, or or some of them live in your skin and your hair. They're everywhere. Parasite infection is a disturbing problem because they are not to be seen. You can't see them with the naked eye, but underneath, you're just not feeling your best. And if you are infected, for example, with Toxoplasma gondii, that parasite, it causes toxoplasmosis. and like 50 billion people on a planet have it. The study shows that if you have it, you are 7 times more likely to commit suicide. Ooh, because as I said, parasites mess up with your biochemistry in your gut, and that affects your brain. Those Toxoplasma gondii are actually common parasites because of the cuts. You pick them through the cat poo, or you get them through contaminated food as well. So apart from parasites infection, another issue to look at is your gut health. In your gut health is a colon plug. You definitely need to address that periodically. The easiest way to explain what colon plug is, for example, when you brushing your teeth every day, but every few months you need to go to dentist to remove the plug from your teeth. Those stubborn stains, on your teeth that needs the special dental procedure in order to remove it. You can't do it yourself. You have to go to dentist. Anyway, that is exactly what happens with your intestines. You go to toilet hopefully regularly to remove the bowel waste, you go for a poo. So you empty and clean your digestive tract, GI tract, digestive system, your colon. But there are residue of food and mucus that over time builds up, creating plaque that gets stuck to your intestinal walls and block the villi from absorbing the food. So what's villi? Villi it's in a small intestine, a little like finger-like structures. They have like hair. They look like this, and they allow your rapid food absorption of your food. They absorb your food, what you eat. So for the optimum function of your gut and overall health and well-being, you definitely need to look into removing the plug out of your intestines and your colon. So let's move for now, and let's look another trouble issue of your gut. So our gut is a complex ecosystem in which as many as 500 bacterial species live and thrive. During digestion, they help synthesize important vitamins and minerals, sending signals to your immune system to help regulate it, and also they make peptides. This is short chain of amino acid that support a healthy mood and cognition, your thinking process, your mind. So bacteria, parasites, and viruses and fungi are part of us all the time. The problem starts when those are out of balance. When our gut flora is in good balance, it helps prevent harmful bacteria from rapidly growing. But when our gut flora is out of balance, harmful bacteria multiplies to unhealthy numbers and they can predominate, disturbing that natural orderly balance in our gut. They release endotoxins, which can increase intestinal permeability. Okay, so intestinal permeability is the ability of material like your food passing through from inside the GI gut tract, gastrointestinal tract, through the cells lining of the gut wall into the rest of the body. So in other words, that permeability shows how easy or not those substances, your food, will pass that barrier of the gut lining. It is usually associated with gut inflammation and leaky gut. Leaky gut is, as it's officially named, increased intestinal permeability, as a condition which bacteria and toxins are able to pass through that intestinal wall into the bloodstream, and that's not good. It shouldn't pass, which is not good news. Your immune system gets completely confused, like with that activity of your gut, and as a result increases inflammation in your body, which in return weakens your immune system, the very thing that we need in defense from bacteria, fungi, and parasites and viruses, all that. And if that process lasts for a long time, it is creating a chronic situation which will set you up for some autoimmune of diseases, which psoriasis is one of them, which is usually this chronic inflammation. So as I was saying, bacterial releases which can increase internal permeability. But what are endotoxins? Endotoxin is the most potent toxic molecular and one of the most important bacterial components contributing to the inflammatory process. They also to blame for the inflammation in your body. They are bad ones. Endotoxins lead to inflammation, and inflammation in our body increases oxidative stress, which depletes our most potent internal antioxidant, which is glutathione. Remember this one. So without sufficient glutathione, toxins in your body are not efficiently neutralized and removed out from the cell. So you keep collecting toxins and getting more ill. Well, there is so much more to that, but I will leave it for now, and we'll talk about it more in my masterclass at the end of this 5 talk. So how do we know if our gut flora is out of the balance? Well, some common signs are flatulence, irritable bowel syndrome, like this IBS stuff, bloating, discomfort after eating, like fatigue after eating, cold food coma when you eat and when you when you pass out after eating, and also bad breath, sign of it, food sensitivities and allergies. Interesting is to observe that moodiness following the meal, the feeling after you have eaten. There is a reason why this happen. It's happening because most of your feel-good neurotransmitters like serotonin is produced in the gut, in your belly. Also dopamine, which is our internal reward system hormone, and it's released, kicks in when we are, for example, falling in love, that euphoria, exercise, when we exercise, when we eat, have sex, and when like winning the prize, this when you win something, it's like, yay. Anyway, both of them, serotonin and dopamine, will be disrupted by endotoxins and leaky gut, preventing feel-good neuron transmitters to release as they should. So if your gut doesn't function properly, lots of other things that are connected with the function of the gut are disturbed. Everything is connected. You see, everything is connected in the body, and biochemistry in your body ultimately depends on healthy connection throughout your entire body systems, especially your gut, where most things happening actually. So as you can see, we have to clean our body from parasites, bad bacteria and viruses that keep challenging our gut. Did you know that actually 80% of your immune system is in your gut? So you can just see how it is important that there is a right balance of interactions in your microbiome. If you know famous Greek physician Hippocrates, he is considered father of medicine. He said, all diseases begins in your gut. And I knew that from a long time ago. So in order to help the digestive system, we need to start creating a habitual routine, one that is on daily basis and a long term too, like big detox. There are so many issues you need to address and so many ways to apply to help healing the gut, especially if you need to address a leaky gut, overgrowth of bacteria, parasites, or colon plaque. On top of that, the food we eat might not be as healthy as you think. Our food production processes has changed so much over the years. What we intake now, completely different what our grandparents were consuming. But I will not go into. I will go into this more about that food in my master class. So in these 5 talks over this week, I'm talking about what is happening in your body in relation to detox and what you need to do in order to detox. But I'll do it in that master class. I will go deeper to explain how you go about detox after this lifetime of detox. There will be linked below, so you can book your place for that master class on Saturday 26th if you wish to do so, where I'll be going to how you actually go about detoxing the body, what are possible methods and what they do for you. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope I brought just a little bit more clarity. Um, the way you need to detox, and you need to detox regularly. I shall see you tomorrow in our day 3 when I will be addressing another misconception where I would usually would hear like, I don't need to detox, nothing is wrong with me, or I have detoxed once upon a time and that's enough. But you have to detox, and you have to detox regularly, regardless if you have illness or not. So on this note, I'm going to love you and leave you. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Namaste.